Hi, this is going to be a short overview of the POS called Heartland Restaurant. So let's get started. So first things first, we're going to log in. We're going to use our PIN number and go in. And then this is going to prompt us to clock in. At this point, it's going to take our picture. We're going to clock in. And then this user actually is supposed to have a cash drawer. So let's assign them a cash drawer. We're going to click on the top right, attach the drawer, and we're going to say that we're starting with $100. All right, awesome. So next thing is we're going to start an order. Underneath here, you can see we have different so-called rooms. So we can actually select one, let's say dining room, and we can actually select a table where you have your layout of your business. You can have multiple rooms that actually have different layouts, maybe bar section, patio, or main room. So let's get started. I'm just gonna click on the table, and this is actually gonna take me right away to our menu. On the bottom, you can see that we have these sections that contain items. And then on the left hand side, you can actually select which menu you're accessing. So if you have a morning menu, late dinner menu, you can actually switch between them. So let's bring up an item. It's super easy. You just click on it, and then the item shows up right here. And then if the item does have any modifiers, they're going to show up right here on the right hand side. If the modifier is circled in red, that actually means that it's required and won't let you move forward without it. If you want to attach a special instruction, you can actually click here on the special instructions and just say maybe extra cheese. And we're done. If the item doesn't have modifiers, you can still add special instruction just by clicking on it. So let's add a couple more things. All right, I think that's enough. Now I can send this to the kitchen. Now let's say I wanted to split this ticket. I can actually do it in several different ways. I can actually split it by the equal amounts. So if I say maybe like 3, every ticket will contain all the items, but it's only going to contain 33% of the cost for it. There's another way, and I'm going to show you that as well. I'm going to remove that split. And actually, I can assign seats to these items. So let's say this one and this one were seat 1, and this one is, let's hold for it. Okay, this one is seat 2, and this one is seat 3. Okay, now that I have seats assigned to the items, if I do split, I can split by a seat. Now this way, instead of having a check that contains like a percentage of the total amount, you can actually have the items that person actually had. And then we can easily print these receipts, or we can check them out. So let's go and check out the first one. We're just going to click checkout on the left hand side. And then let's say we wanted to do an adjustment. Let's say that we're doing 50% off. So as you saw on the left hand side, I could click on the adjust and apply the adjustment, and then maybe I can tender it to cash. All right, and then I have an option to email or print the receipt. That's totally optional. Now let's go back to the check number 3, and let's say I want to discount the item. I can actually click on the item and then discount only this item. So this only applies to the item itself. It doesn't apply to the entire ticket. So if you had more items, it would only apply to this one. Okay, and then let's do checkout, cash. All right, so now you can notice that I actually closed these two, and if I exit out of it, you see that ticket changed color, so that means that the status of it changed. You can see that check 1 and check 2 are paid, but check 3 is not. And I'm going to close that one as well. Check out. And now I can close the check. Of course, we can set auto close if the check is completely paid, so you don't have to do that manually. Now, if I wanted to go and put in a pickup order, this would be a tab, tab room. So the tickets start like this, where instead of going directly to the menu, it actually shows the information about a ticket, and this is where you can actually put in information about the customer who's picking up the order. So let's start and put in the number 300 4048. Okay, and then if the customer already exists, you can actually select them from the list here, and then if there are any additional information, they will populate, or you can fill out anything you want yourself. Now we can start putting in items for this customer and send it over. You can see the ticket is showing up here under the pickup room, and then when the customer comes in, you can actually go to the checkout, and you can notice here that actually there is like a little medal right here on the left side. That actually means that this customer has some loyalty rewards. This POS contains system where you can actually have points per dollar and 3 tiers of rewards. So, depending of what you want to achieve, you can give them a free item, discount, and we're gonna go to the adjustments. You can see for this particular customer what we have available. So right now we have 3 tiers of rewards. This customer already racked up a lot of rewards. So let's say we wanna do $15 off for a gold reward. Now you can see that the reward was applied to a customer, and then we can check out this customer using any tender that's available to us. Now, once this is done, we can close the check, and then if we need for any reason, we can actually see all the checks that are available throughout the day. If we click on the search on the left hand side, and you can see that there were checks that were actually that were differently tagged, have a different color coding. So you can see the room, the name of the customer, the number of the table. So if we need for any reason, we can click on it and reopen the check. We can reprint that check, or we can, if we need, void the transaction. So in this instance, I would just select the payment type that's here, and then I would select the reason why I want to avoid this. Now the ticket is actually open, so if I go back and exit and switch back to the room view, you can see the ticket is still there. So if I really wanted to void the ticket, I can do so. So I would just click on the checkout on the left hand side and void the ticket. Now this is asking for manager code because this user actually doesn't have a permission to make voids. So I'm just going to use a manager code here, and after that I can make the void. Awesome. Now, if we wanted to remove some items after they were rang up, and I'm going to show you that as well. So let's ring up some items. Okay, and then let's send it. Now, this particular room was set up in such a way where it requires these information. So you can't actually send, and this is really useful if you have a pickup orders, and you don't want your servers to just take an order and send it to the kitchen and didn't know who the customer is or whose phone number it is. So you can actually say, oh, it's Marco. And then the phone number is 312-300-4048. Done. Now you can send, and now it's going to be sent to the kitchen. Now let's say you made a mistake and you want to remove one of the items. You can go back, reopen the ticket, and then void item. And that's going to show in red that item was voided. Now let's say you want to you are ringing up something and you made a mistake. You can actually remove it before sending, and that's just a removal of the item. It's not void, so it's not going to be tracked as a void or anything like that. Now, after all my tickets are closed, I can actually check out and close my shift. So let me try to do that. So I'm going to go to the top right, and I'm going to go and click on the cash drawer, and I'm going to try to perform a checkout. And you see there is an error message here that says that I cannot perform a server checkout. So probably because I have open tickets. And then here I can see that there are open tickets and the amount of that's under those tickets that were open. So I get a couple of solutions where I can actually either go back, open that ticket, and then tender it using a tender, or I can go on to the info screen and then transfer a ticket to another staff member. So I would select here a staff member, and I would transfer a ticket. And in this instance, I'm just going to check out and use cash as a tender to close it out. Now I can perform cash drawer checkout. And this is going to print my daily report. It's going to ask me if I know how much money is in the drawer or I want to count later. I'm just going to say I'm going to count later. And at this point, I can actually go and clock out since my shift is done. If the place requires, I can actually, put in how much tips I got in cash, and then clock out altogether. Now, besides regular POS functionality, this POS actually offers an option where you can log in and check out the reports as well. So I logged in as a manager, and I'm going to go to the top right and click on the reports. And I'm just going to quickly do an overview. The report you're going to be looking at mostly is daily summary. And that report actually contains all your sales for the day, all your taxes, the entire breakdown by the room, by the revenue center. So as you can see, we get sales, we get tax categories, day parts, revenue centers, transactions, groups, sections, cash management, or any closed tickets or any open tickets. So this report is actually accessible both through the POS and to the admin portal. It's printable and exportable as well, and you can filter it by revenue centers and by staff, and you can run it for any amount of time that you want. I'm just going to touch on the other reports. You have item reports, which actually you can access if you click on the daily summary and click on the items. It's actually going to bring up all the items that you ring up throughout the day. So I'm just going to click on the buffalo wings, and you can see on which tickets these items were showing up. So if you drill even deeper, you can actually see what the ticket was, and then there's even better option where you can actually click on the audit trail, and then you can see what was going on here. You can see who put in the item, who changed the item, who checked out the item. And then we have different reports when it comes to items. So all the items that were rang up throughout the day, and you can filter by different groupings here. We have hourly tickets, hourly items, any discounts that were applied throughout the day, they're going to show up here. And again, it's all drillable. You can drill in and see what ticket it was applied to. Any adjustments, same deal. You can actually select the adjustment that was available there, and you can see what time, who did it, and at what ticket. Same goes for the taxes, surcharges, any voids. This is invaluable when you're tracking what your staff is doing. So if they're doing a lot of voids, if there is a problem with that, any tips and payouts, all the tickets that were rang out throughout the day are going to be showing up here. Any transactions, that means the tickets that have applied tenders to it. And then cash summary is important for your staff that's doing banking, self-banking, and cash drawers. Then we have a cash drawer report. And then here is a labor summary, a payroll summary, and then as well there is a time clock where you can actually see who was clocking in and at what time. And while we are on the time clock, I'm just going to touch on, you can actually adjust your employees' times directly from the POS. You don't have to go to the back end to the admin portal. So let's click on the manager here, and then time punch management, and you're gonna see all the people that were clocking in and out throughout the day. And here you can actually select If you want to edit somebody's time, change the time, you're going to see the picture that was taken. And then after you're done with the adjustment of clock in and clock out time, you can click save. And then after that, it's going to be adjusted both on the POS and on the admin portal. So all in all, this is like a really short overview of what the POS can do. It can do much more, but for all of that, please reach out to us, to Digital Market POS, and we'll do a custom demo for you based on the way you do your business.